Now then guys, welcome back to another video. So I'm back working on my Volkswagen. So I'm thinking of making a series of just repair videos of me keeping this old Volkswagen Bora on the road. I've had the car for a long time. It's a high mileage hero. I've done over 200,000 miles in this car. It's currently got 342,000 miles. But basically I've formed an emotional attachment, I guess, to this car, and I refuse to let it die. So its MOT's just expired, and I've noticed that recently it's had an oil leak, so I'm going to fix the oil leak before I take its MOT, because in my opinion there's no point taking it for an MOT if it's going to fail, for sure. I've tracked down the oil leak, so it looks like there's a hole in the sump. This car was lowered. I lowered it many years ago, not for any performance reasons, because lowered cars look better. And yeah, so I must have hit a speed bump fairly harsh, and it's got a pinhole leak. Nothing massive, but it's fairly obvious, so I think it would fail an MOT. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about changing the sump, so I can keep this old girl going. Let's do this. Any guesses where the oil leak is? There. Oh yes. Focus, you twat. So my crappy camera, guys. Okay. First step is an obvious one. Is drain the oil. Okay. So it's a 17mm oil sump plug, I believe. So yeah, drain the oil. There she goes. Look, look, look. To show you this has happened, because the oil that's in this car is not that old actually. It's only done about 2,000 or 3,000 miles. I ain't putting it all back in, so I'm just gonna have a very short belting into the fucking wind. Okay guys, so I've drained the oil. Next step is to undo the electric connector to this oil level switch here. My body just blew shut with the wind. You know. Then the process is going around the periphery of the sump and undoing each of these 10mm bolts. Okay, there's a few here that are really, you can see them, they're really hard to get to because they're right tucked in against the gearbox. Luckily the Volkswagen provided, can you even see that? There we go, that's better, isn't it? Luckily Volkswagen provided with like a, even though it's a 10mm bolt, it's also got an Allen head, and you can get the long extension ball point Allen tools, and they allow you to a slight amount of misalignment to get into there. So you can, for these ones that are a bit difficult to get to, you can use one of them. But also there's another trick, which apparently on the flywheel, I'll put a picture of what the flywheel looks like on the back edge, but on the back edge of the flywheel there is a cutout in the flywheel, and if you rotate the engine by moving the main, you can do it by moving the main main pulley here until this cutout aligns with these bolts, and apparently you can then get access with a normal socket. Fortunately I don't think I need to do this, because I changed the flywheel and clutch in this a few years ago. I went for a single mass flywheel because it was cheaper, and I think because the single mass flywheel is much lighter, much thinner, it doesn't need that cutout. So to me it looks like I'll be able to get access anyway, so I don't need to rotate the engine. Well, I'll give it a go and report back. Okay, so there are your two options. Okay, Allen key, I'm going to take the flywheel, line the cutout to get these stubborn ones out, and hopefully get some more here as well. And I believe this one here, yeah, goes into the sump as well. This main bolt here. Don't forget that one. Okay, so I'll start on doing these and bring you back. Okay guys, update. So I've got the stubborn ones off right up against the gearbox. I thought it best just to tell you exactly how we did it, because it was a bit problematic, I'll be honest. Because, as I showed in the previous video, because you cannot get a straight angle onto the bolt, I first tried with my extension and my universal joint, which is underneath this tape here. This is quarter drive. And fortunately, it was too floppy, so every time I tried to put pressure to get onto the thing, it'd just bend. So it was just too floppy, she said. So what I did, to try and stiffen up this joint but still allow a bit of flex, I just wrapped some masking tape around it, just to stiffen it up but still allow the movement. And that was enough for me to still apply pressure to get onto the nut without it bending too much and then losing connection to get it off. So that got off. So if you're struggling, potentially try that. Worked for me. Okay, so I'll just get the rest of the nuts off and then remove the sump, and I'll bring you back. Are we ready? So all nuts are off, and to get it loose, I just give it a bit of a tap with a hammer. Obviously, if you're intending to reuse your sump, I don't suggest doing it. I'm using a rubber mallet instead to protect it. I don't care, because it's getting replaced. Here we go. Oh. Oh. Don't forget to collect any bolts that you couldn't quite get out, which I did on this edge. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Oh. Cool beans. Guys, so it's always a good idea to do a little bit of an inspection while you got the sump off. I think so. You know, here you got the oil pickup, and inside there you got an oil pickup strainer. So, you know, hopefully you don't see any metal bits in there, which could indicate excessive engine wear, which for this sort of mileage in this car would be totally unsurprising. But it still runs really good, gives good fuel economy, so I'm not surprised. Yeah. Looking over. Yeah. So you want to clean all the faces, the mounting faces where the new sealant's going to go. Miles. You can inspect the oil pump as well, the chain. Looks good to me. Just build that tension on the thing. Happy. Okay, so I've got the old sump on the workbench here, cleaned out all the oil. So the next step, if you're taking the sump off for some other reason and you want to reuse it, you want to make sure this mating surface here is clean, because this is where you're going to apply new sealant, which I'll show you with the new sump. But obviously this sump's not going back on, because as I thought, you can see just there the damage there. Yay, lowered cars. Well, I don't blame the car, I blame the speed bumps. So you probably this could have been fixed, you know, with some JB weld maybe. A bit of TIG welding. But to be fair, the new sump wasn't that expensive. I think I paid £50 for the new sump, so ain't that bothered. Next step, I need to take off this oil level switch off the old sump to go on the new sump. So looks like it's just some Allen bolts there. So I'll undo them. That being about, I've got the new sump prepared. Okay, just bring you back. So I was not expecting this. I've got the new sump here, I've got the old sump. Dimensionally, overall looks the same. However, notice for where the oil level sensor goes, also the oil level switch, here, completely blank. And the holes have not been tapped. So I'm going to have to drill a hole, which I need a hole saw for because I haven't got one. 41mm, I believe. And then I got to tap these as well. Okay, now. So that's additional work I wasn't expecting. Maybe there's a version where this oil level switch is not available. Maybe it's an option. I don't know. So maybe not everyone has it. So maybe not everyone needs it, but still. Lame. Okay guys, so I'm just about got myself a hole saw, 40mm, punched a hole in the centre there, so I'm just about to drill out the centre of this section of the sump to allow for mounting of the oil level switch. Okay, so that worked. Cut that out. It was a bit rough, so I've just tidied up the edge with the little Dremel, the diamond bit. Very smooth. So I've test fit the oil level sensor switch and it fits there nicely. So when that's done, make sure I'm going to clean all this out, get any aluminium bits out of the sump. And next step is I'm going to tap these bolt holes to mount the actual level switch. Okay. Okay guys, so I'm now just tapping these threads. I don't know about you guys, but I hate doing this. It always scares me a little bit. But it seems to be going okay. So thankfully they already put some pilot holes in there for me. They weren't quite the right size, so I've just drilled them out a little again with the same tap drill size for the bolts for this switch, which are M6. So I drilled a 5mm drill bit in there, and I've got an M6 tap in there at the moment. Okay. Hi guys. Another point that you might find helpful is you're gonna have to drill these to tap them properly. The hole that comes with the sump is not deep enough for the bolt. So I've got my set of verniers here, calipers, and I've used my old sump to determine how deep to drill. So you've got to be careful, don't drill too deep, because if you look on the underside, see how it's capped? So you don't want to go, obviously go through that. So you want to be careful how deep you drill. So I just took it steady, and now I've drilled it exactly onto the verniers. Pretty much exactly as the old sump. Okay. And there we are, sports fans. So oil level switch fitted, so drilled and tapped, main hole drilled as well, so that's ready to go back on the car. Okay guys, next step is preparation to put on the new sump. So on the top here, with these cars, you don't have a gasket or no ring, anything like that. You just have a flat surface on the sump and on the engine side. And you have to use some gasket sealant. So this is the stuff was recommended for this car. I think this is what the Volkswagen used originally. It's a German product. So next step is to apply gasket sealant around the edge on the inside of the bolts, or you can go all the way around if you want, use more product. Yeah, go around the edge here on the inside. Okay, make sure this is clean, make sure it's clean on the engine, like I said. All the way around here, around here, around here, and then put it on the engine block, and then tighten it up to torque spec, and then leave it for 24 hours before you put the oil back in the car. Give it a chance to cure, and then that's it. Jobs are good, and put the new oil in, start the engine up, and make sure there's no leaks. There we are, guys. New sump on. Excuse a bit of excess sealant there. All the bolts torqued up. 15 Newton meters for the small ones. The bigger ones that go to connect from the sump to the gearbox, they're 45. And I think these ones for the oil level switch were 25. Be careful with them because obviously you screw it down into aluminium, and the small thread is very easy to strip them. So I was very careful. So I've just topped up with oil. No leaks so far, but obviously it's not under pressure yet because I haven't started it up, but I hope it'll be okay. So there we are. Hope you find this video helpful. Sithy.